Right, reflections. It says draw a reflection of the triangle in the line x equals 1. Okay, so we need to look at, first of all, what the line x equals 1 is, right? And it's really easy if you keep it simple, okay? It says x, so we go to the x-axis, okay, which is this one, yeah? And we'll have a look where x is equal to 1. So x-axis, x is equal to 1. Well, there's 2 there, 0 there, 1 is here, isn't it? So, mark it, and all you've got to do is just draw a line through it, okay? So on this line, I'm going to draw, here, x is equal to 1. That's the line x equals 1. To reflect, of course, what you need to do is, each corner point, right? That's what I'd focus on, each of the shape. Okay? Don't worry about the shape, just reflect the corner points. So that corner point there, see how far it is from your mirror, from your line x equals 1. That's 3 squares, isn't it? So you go back 3 squares the other side, you end up there. Okay? So you can mark that corner point. This corner point here, is that 5 squares? Check it, yeah, 5 squares. So we go back 5 squares, ends up being there. Okay? That one there. Do the same for that corner point. Again, that's 5 squares, isn't it? So you go back 5 squares, there. And you can see then, once the corner points are there, you've got your shape. You just join them up with a ruler and a pencil, and you've got your reflection. Okay? You can sometimes be put off by the axes here, but if you just focus on this line here, you can see that that is here, they are reflections of each other. Okay, draw a reflection in the line y equals 6. Same principle. Y equals 6. There's the y-axis, so go to where y is equal to 6. That's where y is equal to 6. Put a mark through it, and then get your ruler and draw a line. Okay? And where y is equal to 6, quite simply now, again, with the corner points of the shape, just reflect them. That's 2 squares, so you'll be back 2 squares, you're going to go there. That's 2 squares, we go back 2 squares. That there, can't quite see that, I think that's 3 squares. Another 2 gives me 5, so I'll go back 5, end up there. So join the points up, and if you use a pencil, you should be using a pencil, you can check then obviously if everything looks right. The shape needs to look like it, okay? Right? But that does look like a reflection. You can even turn it round, and it looks really symmetrical about that line, so we've done everything good there. Now, also they could say reflect in a particular axis. So you've got the y-axis. Okay, so we don't have to draw any line. It's much easier. Of course, in this case though, you probably only get 1 mark for it because you're not drawing any line. Because your y-axis, so you do the same thing. 1 square. It's 1 square from the y-axis. So you go 1 square back. That there is 5 squares. So you go back 5 squares. We end up there. And then this is 3 squares, so you go back 3 squares, so we end up here. You've got your shape. Okay. Always check as well the question. Sometimes they say label it B, okay, because that one's been labeled A, but they don't they? In this case, they don't say that. But if they do, just check for things like that. Okay. Now this one is interesting. Y equals x, okay, that's what they want you to reflect it in. Now the line y equals x is a diagonal line, okay? It's a diagonal line, and it's a line that sort of is going up like that, right? It's a diagonal. If you turn your paper around, okay, it's basically going to go like that, and it's going to go through the corner here, okay? It's going to go through that point there. And the reason why, of course, if you think about it, here, y is equal to x, isn't it? Okay, it's also going to go through this point, yeah, all these points, the corners of the squares. Right, so I can join that up. Be careful to draw this line properly. As I said earlier, you know, on that point there, you know, y is equal to x, because x is 1. At that point, x is 1 and y is 1. You can go here. X is 3, y is 3. X is 5, y is 5. So that's why it's called y equals x. But just remember in the exam, if it's y equals x, just draw that diagonal there. Now to reflect this, sometimes better, as I said, if you turn this around, which you can do in the exam, you can then work up the distances from the corner points to the mirror line. Now if you look here, from this corner point B, it's actually a diagonal of a square, okay? So one diagonal, so you go back one diagonal, it's going to end up there, isn't it? Okay, it's going to end up there. So you can mark that there, oops, you can mark that there, and you've got your corner B there, reflected. Now if you look at A, of course, if you look across there, that's two diagonals, isn't it? You've got one diagonal, and another diagonal is two diagonals. So go back this way, one diagonal, two diagonals, you end up there. Okay, so there's your B, there's your A reflected. It doesn't look very good at promising at the moment, but just keep going with the corner points. C, now C is the other side of the mirror, which means when you reflect, it's going to be over here somewhere. So let's see how far this is. One diagonal, two diagonals, yeah? That's two diagonals. So you go back two diagonals, you end up there. Okay, end up there. So yeah, it looks a bit messy, but let's just join those points up. Okay, and we do have this, right? Sometimes the shapes do overlap. So there's my answer. Okay, there's my answer. It's a reflection line y equals x. If I turn it back, you can see that it is symmetrical. Okay, you can see there that we've got a perfect symmetry. Okay, last question. Now this time it says, draw the image of the triangle A after the reflection in the dotted line y equals minus x. Now here you've got y equals minus x. Now this is a diagonal, but it's going the other way, okay? That's what y equals minus x looks like. It goes the other way, okay? And they've drawn it in for us already. So we do the same sort of thing again. Might help to turn this around. So you've got one diagonal there, so you go back one diagonal for that point. This one then you've got, let's see how far that is, be careful, that's one diagonal, two diagonals, and half a diagonal. Okay, so again, just careful to focus on that point. One diagonal, two diagonals, half a diagonal. So there's your half, and then we've got to go back one, and then another one, so you've got that point there. So you've got 2 points so far. Now the third point is actually on the mirror. And what's great about that is, if it's on the mirror, the reflection will also be on the mirror. So you're going to join it up to that point. Okay, so join your points up. Okay, so there's your reflection. Okay, it looks quite messy as I said, but turn it round, you could look in the mirror there, you could see that it is symmetrical.